possible that we've been underestimating Juan Soto? Is that actually possible? Like, we all know Juan Soto is an amazing player. We all know he's great. We all know that he is even at 26, a future Hall of Famer. We all know that. Is it possible that we didn't even know he was this good? That he's about to get even better? Is that actually possible? If so, we have entered a new realm of of unbelievable megastar reaching the New York Mets. We've had superstars before. We've had franchise legends. We've had all-stars. We've had everybody. We have never seen a player like this before who might be... we haven't done him justice. That's incredible. That's an amazing thing. All right, let's just talk about it. Roll the music. I had to calm myself down after that intro. This was amazing. All right, sorry. Welcome to Mike's Mets Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Peixoto. Hope everyone's having a wonderful Saturday, and everyone watched the game. Yes, right. Baseball is back. The Mets' first spring training game was today against the Houston Astros, and we got to see some Juan Soto. And yeah, if you haven't heard it already, and if you haven't heard it already, that's pretty amazing, because not only should you have been getting news alerts, you should have been getting text messages from relatives, friends, whoever. Juan Soto homered in his first at-bat as a New York Met. And although this is spring training, I don't really care. This was one of those moments that were okay, I wonder what he's going to do. Maybe he'll get a single, maybe he'll draw a walk. It's a walk was always a possibility of Juan Soto. Who knows what he might do. I don't know if anybody had it on their bingo card that he would homer in his first at bat. I mean, it was certainly in the realm of possibilities, but my God, homering in your first at bat, and let's just go through this at bat, because he starts off with gets a couple pitches inside. Soto already showing the great batting eye, gets a fastball in high and in. And Soto swings through it, and this is a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. This isn't a great pitch, but it's Soto. I noticed this, and if you're watching him closely, go back and watch him do this. He does the nod, okay, all right, I got you, all right, yeah, I see it. And this is the thing that's been talked about Soto before, which is that he has a lot of style, he has a lot of flair. His detractors will say it's arrogance. If you're this good, I think it's appropriate to be arrogant. I don't know. That's just me. But he does this okay, all right, I got you. All right. And he's doing the nod, and squares on the next pitch. It's a fastball, belt high. This is a bad pitch. Let's be honest. This is not good. This was not good. It's the first spring training start, I believe, for the Astros pitcher. Is Connor Overton. Let me just double check that. I want to be sure. Probably I'm never going to say that name again. Wow, it wasn't even kind of close. Colton Gordon. I'm sorry about that. This was terrible. That was one of the worst. I don't know where I got Connor Overton from. Colton Gordon. That's the name. So I don't know how I got that one so wrong, but whatever. All right. So Colton Gordon was the man who is now in Met history as giving up the first home run, even spring training, to Juan Soto, and this is pretty awesome. It was amazing at bat. As I said, it was a belt high fastball, easy pitch for Soto to hit, and squares it up, goes Oppo Taco, left center field, and it's and you can tell from the play-by-play call from Gary Cohen, which also great to hear at the SNY boys all at the game and enjoying it and had a blast. And and watching the home run call from Cohen. Cohen was surprised. He was like, "Oh, it's out here," and he was. It was a easy home run. I mean, like, it was clearly out. Like, it wasn't like a barely grazing the outfield wall type of home run. He has so much power, and for a guy who's not like he's not like a home run hitter. Like, he just is an incredible hitter. Like, it's, like Ted Williams. Ted Williams wasn't really a home run hitter. He just knew how to hit the ball, and he had a lot of power. And he's in that realm. He's not the same caliber hitter as Ted Williams, of course. I don't want to make it seem like I think he's Ted Williams, but the guy is an amazing player. I mean, like, no one should be able to hit like opposite field home runs like that. And this was an easy pitch, but we've seen in like the spring training videos and stuff like that, he has so much back control. It's really amazing. And, from an opposing fan's point of view for my entire life, I could respect Soto's game and I could, marvel at his ability. But I was never aware of how good he was. Like, really, it isn't until you first see it, guys. The same was like when I first saw Max Scherzer pitch for us for the first time, and I was like, oh, like, when I'm not rooting against him, like, I can actually like fully appreciate how great he is. And Soto is an unbelievable player. Like, the stats, the countless reports and scouting reports that have been done about Soto, it doesn't really do him justice until you actually see him in a Met uniform for the first time, and you're like, my God, like were we, going back to my intro, were we like underestimating? Were we like underreporting like how good Juan Soto really is? Because and for months, it was like this where people would say over and over again. And people, I mean, and I use that in the strongest possible terms. People is Yankee fans, and Yankee fans were saying for months, he's overrated. He's not worth it. Oh, he's never going to make up the value of his contract. Okay. Sour grapes much? I think that's pretty clear what we have with those Yankee fans and Juan Soto. And it's amazing to watch. It really is, just to see how good he is in flesh. I was about to say in person, but like on screen, it really is amazing to see. He's an incredible player, and again, the back control, the power, it's all in one amazing package. And at 26, I mean, it's just like a steal. It's just a steal for the Mets to have acquired him. It's such a chunk of change, but it is so worth it. He's such an incredible hitter, and we didn't really see him that much in the field today. But of course, there are the things that have been said about him, which is that he, not a good fielder, didn't play particularly well last year in right field, despite being a Gold Glove finalist for the Yankees last year. His range is not good. He has certainly his problems there. I'm going to throw a little bit of it on the Yankees, system itself, which has terrible defense. They've had terrible defense for years, so I don't know if we can really attribute that much of it to Juan Soto. I mean, for his history, he has not been very good for his entire life. Let's be clear, but let's hope that they can actually, impart some wisdom in terms of like how to play right field and figure out how to really adjust to those corners and playing in right field. And I think he will play at least at average right field. I'm not expecting him to overnight become a Gold Glover out there, but I think he can play solid right field. And honestly, I'm not paying I'm not paying definitely, but the Mets aren't paying for his glove, and I said this for months also. The Mets aren't paying for his glove; they're paying for his bat. His bat is what made him the third best player in the American League according to MVP ratings MVP voting last year. This guy is one of the best players in baseball. He has unquestionably, and we can haggle on if he's third or fourth, but behind Judge, behind Ohtani, it is very clear that he is filling that void of who is the best player after those two guys. It's Juan Soto. I think that's it should be stated, and he has to kind of like reclaim his crown in terms of that. Is he ever going to win an MVP? Probably not, because with Ohtani in there, and you figure like some other guys coming through, and everything with teams like the Braves and the Phillies, like there's always going to be contention. But he should be a consistent MVP candidate. And I think probably one day he would win, because if the Mets are able to get into the postseason, maybe even get into maybe a division title possibly at some point, there's a chance that he could win an MVP at some point. We're speculating very far in the future. Let's talk about today. So we, of course, had the Soto performance that was just, again, legendary. But let's also talk about Mr. Clay Holmes, who started the game for the Mets. It was important to see him in person as well, not in person, on TV. And a stellar spring training debut from Mr. Clay Holmes. So this was, again, Clay Holmes, mostly known as the Yankees closer for years, making the transition to starting pitcher, and he made a statement. It was 3 perfect innings from Mr. Clay Holmes. He was lights out, 3 innings pitched, no base runners allowed, 3 strikeouts, so no walks, no hit by batsman, no hits, nothing. Efficient too. He threw just 35 pitches. And again, this is spring training. We know it's not the real thing, and that's until he does in regular season. It doesn't mean really anything, but for a guy who needed to make a statement like early on, being like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna be starting games for us now. 3 shutout innings, and to look as dominant as he was, as efficient as he was just outstanding to see, and a real confidence booster, I think, for Mets fans who are not feeling that great about the Mets rotation. We'll see how that all plays out, but if Clay Holmes is looking like this, then I think Met fans will feel okay about it. And it wasn't just his performance, you could see on screen, he was clearly very enthusiastic. He had, he was, a lot of camaraderie in the dugout with his best teammates, and he looks like he's having a lot of fun, which I'm happy to see, because I don't know, what exactly the Yankees atmosphere is in the clubhouse. I think it's like a good atmosphere if people like each other, but what's been said for years is that like it doesn't look like they're having any fun, and we know for sure the Mets last year had a lot of fun. It was a great clubhouse dynamic that the Mets had. I think is probably the thing that really won certain players over, like Sean Manaea. Like, okay, should I go off to another team? No, I'll go back to the Mets where I feel like I'm in a good place. And so for Clay Holmes, I think that was also like a selling point. And the fact that the Mets were going to be putting him into the starting rotation, no longer a reliever. And he looked like he was having a blast. I was really happy for him. He breezed through that first inning, just 9 pitches. He looked incredibly efficient again. Notched his first strikeout as a Met in the second inning, and then called third strike on a 97-mile-an-hour sinker. What we saw, which would have been hyped up early on in the spring training, what he was doing was working on a changeup, and never threw the changeup before. Really, this was he's mostly a sinker fastball pitcher, but unleashed the changeup. Let me just double check this. I think 5 times was that right? 7 times. Okay, so I was wrong about that. So 7 times he threw the changeup and got great results every time. Got swings and misses, some weak contact. The changeup was averaging 88 miles an hour, which was a really good contrast with the mid-90s sinker that he throws and the 4-seamer fastball. So he looked really good. I was really impressed with how polished he looked. And again, this was another situation with Yankee fans where Yankee fans were killing him. And you can look at his stats and you're like, I don't really understand why they hate him so much. But he was, I guess, he's not coming up in clutch situations, of course. But he's a good pitcher. I mean, like his stuff has always been viewed as some of the best of any reliever in the game. Like, he has a great sinker. The sinker is one of the best pitches, I think, from any reliever in baseball. He's got a great sinker, and combined it with the fastball, it looked really good. And now he's throwing in the changeup. He looks like a whole other pitcher now, and great control. I mean, it was outstanding. And then they didn't end. He went to a bullpen session, threw another 15 pitches after that. So he's clearly working on getting his stamina up to what should be appropriate for a starting pitcher, and he wants to take that step and become an ace. And if you're looking at Michael King and on the San Diego Padres, the Mets have a blueprint here where the Padres converted a Yankee reliever into a ace starting pitcher. So they'll try and do it with Clay Holmes, and it's an experiment that a lot of people are anxiously waiting to see how the results of it go. But it was a great thing to see Clay Holmes pitch so well. Other things that happened in the game, I mean, the final score of the game, 6-2. Nothing else really, nothing major, of course, occurred for it. The Mets would score another 3 runs in the bottom of the second, mostly coming off of a couple of fielders' choices, and then RBI single from Francisco Alvarez, which was nice to see. That concluded the scoring in the second inning. And then, what was this? 8th inning, the Mets would score another 2 runs, giving them 6 in total. And the scoring plays for that were, let me just get the names right here. So it was Gilberto Celestino and Yanni Hernandez, 2 spring training invitees. So great for them. They got a couple of RBIs late in the game. And Mets win an easy 6-2. Great pitching, like I said. Mets only allowing 2 runs scored. 3 innings of those coming from Clay Holmes. The other 9 innings would be broken up among number of pitchers: Danny Young, Austin Warren, Justin Hageman, Rico Garcia, and this Trey McLaughlin. So a lot of guys that probably aren't going to be with the Mets in 2025, but good for them. So Mets win 6-2. Great way to start spring training. We're happy to see things going well right now with the Mets. Again, spring training doesn't really matter that much in terms of results. It's more about progress with the players. And if we're seeing great progress from Clay Holmes, that's a good thing. Of course, we knew that Juan Soto was going to make an impact. For him to make an impact so quickly with this team, I'm beyond thrilled. I think Met fans are going to be very excited, and we're going to have a lot of fun with this year. And if Juan Soto is already looking like this in spring training, I can't imagine how good he's going to look in Major League Baseball in the regular season. It should be great. I can't wait to see what happens else with Juan Soto. But baseball's back. I'm feeling great about it. Mets won. I'm feeling great about that also. Hope everyone has a great weekend, and let's go Mets. Thank you for listening to Mike's Mets Podcast. If you haven't already, please follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave a like and a comment. It helps so much. Finally, please follow our Twitter and Blue Sky pages. You can find us at Twitter at Mike's Mets Pod, all one word, and on Blue Sky at Mike's Mets Podcast.bsky.social. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day or evening, and let's go Mets.